Hello, everyone. Let's just get the meeting started. I think we are live. And can I see some hands or some yays or nays in the chat if you can hear me? All right, excellent. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Gary. So yeah, welcome everyone. I am going to start sharing my my screen. Just bear with me for one very quick second. We had some IT fun earlier today, but we are getting it sorted. All right, so let's get the meeting properly started now. Welcome everyone. My name is Yvette Vera Perez. I am the president and CEO at the Canadian Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Association. And today we are here to talk a little bit about CHFCA, but more than anything to talk about Hydrogen Ontario. So welcome to your first Hydrogen Ontario webinar, members webinar. A little bit about today. We are going to start talking a little bit about CHFCA. I am going to introduce you to our new executive director at Hydrogen Ontario and also to our new board. And from that point on, our chair of the board in Hydrogen Ontario will be taking on. And then we will talk about the provincial priorities. So lots of things, and hope to have lots of member engagement today. So welcome again. To get started, a little bit about CHFCA. Most of you are members of the national organization and also of Hydrogen Ontario. And if you're not member of Hydrogen Ontario yet, I hope by the end of today, you will be also joining Hydrogen Ontario. What is CHFCA? So we are a national organization, a national industry association. Our main priorities revolve around advocacy and government relationships, education and awareness, and providing B2B opportunities to our members. Advocacy and government relations, we have from the perspective of CHFCA, national level coverage. We take care of government relationships at a federal level. We have launched, well, since I joined almost 2 years ago, our lobby days, our official lobby days. We've had 2022, 2023, 2024 coming up in the fall. And at the affiliate level, we have already kicked off with Alberta and BC with advocacy days, and hopefully soon this year coming up later in the year, advocacy days for Ontario. So we follow an affiliate model, and what that means is that we want to have that national and international coverage. But it's also very important to have boots on the ground, if you will, provincially and regionally. And the reason we do this, obviously, as you know, a lot of the energy and policy decisions are also made at provincial levels. So it's very important to have that national, provincial, and also municipal local outreach. And it's a way of servicing you, the members, better, providing value nationally, internationally, through trade shows, etc., and also domestically. A little bit about our membership and how it is looking like. At the national level, we have about 200 members and counting. And our members span the whole value chain when it comes to hydrogen. So from power producers to hydrogen producers through different pathways to also those in moving, storing hydrogen, and ultimately end users of hydrogen. So conversations and B2B relationships are getting very fruitful for you, for the members. And it's part of what we strive to do, to be a unified voice for the sector and to provide a forum for members to develop relationships and to help us advocate and educate. At the affiliate level, and then this is where we're gonna get very soon into discussing the Hydrogen Ontario affiliate specifically, we have about 90 members and counting. These are members who, many of them are part of also the national organization, but they also have a footprint in Ontario. It could be headquartered in Ontario, but also a number of companies that are headquartered elsewhere, but have interest in operating in Ontario, in networking in Ontario, in advocacy in Ontario, and business opportunities as well in the province. So these logos to just give you an idea of those members that you can interact with. And again, those of you in the audience, if you're not members of Hydrogen Ontario yet, I hope this is something that that we can help you correct by the end of today. So with that, I'm going to be passing it over to well, the big announcements that I'm very excited about that everyone knows, but at least today in a webinar, I wanted to introduce you to our new executive director in Hydrogen Ontario, Mike Althaus. Mike, yes, wave. So I am very, very excited that that Mike has joined Hydrogen Ontario. So if you look at Mike's LinkedIn profile, I don't have it in front of me, but it's something about a professional with a passion for government relations and stakeholder engagement. There's much more to Mike than that. Mike knows industry associations very well. I met Mike when she became executive director of the Ontario Clean Technologies Industry Association, where I'm on the board of, and also on the Canada Clean Tech Alliance. So these are two associations that Mike has run very effectively. And that experience is something that she's bringing to Hydrogen Ontario. I believe Mike is going to end up introducing Ry Smith, who's the chair of the board, but because you see his picture here, Ry is going to speak later and take it over from here. He is the very first chair of the inaugural board of Hydrogen Ontario, and tremendous curriculum behind him as well. So with that, I am going to pass it over to Mike. And because I'm sharing the slides, Mike and Ry, please tell me when you need me to flip the slides, all right? Micah, over to you.
Excellent. Yeah, so I hope actually people will be able to hear me now and that it all works on a technology level. My part is very small here. Thanks, Yvette, so much for introducing Ryan, myself, and I'll seamlessly hand over to Ry actually for a bit of an introduction of Hydrogen Ontario and our vision, mission, and values that have successfully been crafted in the past weeks and months.
Thank you, Micah. Yvette, if you could move to the next slide then, please. So the board, and I hope that you all get a chance to meet the board members and meet all the members of the association over the next few months as we roll out various events and activities. But the board has been meeting over the last few months, and especially since the new year, we've been working diligently to set up the association, governance structure, and things of that nature, and starting with the development of mission, vision, and value statements. And I'd like to review those with you right now. So the Hydrogen Association of Ontario mission is to support industrial and manufacturing base in the province of Ontario as it leads Ontario and Canada's efforts to create demand and develop a robust hydrogen offtake market. So we're really focused on the development of the industry and the hydrogen ecosystem in Ontario in particular, but how that supports government, Canada more broadly is absolutely critical. So that's our mission. Next slide. We have a few slides to cover off our values. Thank you. So our vision is to realize a robust hydrogen energy economy within the Ontario province of Ontario. And that, of course, is going to be through deployment of hydrogen technology, equipment, and leading to infrastructure so that we get to hydrogen at scale. And with hydrogen at scale, that will enable Ontario's transition to a new energy paradigm, new energy system that is fundamentally decarbonized for various forms of energy use throughout the province, and in particular, industrial applications and downstream markets. Next. Will advance adoption and utilization of hydrogen as a clean and efficient energy carrier. And in order to do that, we need to engage stakeholders. And that's when we say stakeholders here, we mean members. When we say members, we mean stakeholders. Stakeholders in the industry and research and educational institutions, governments, and professional advisors. And the purpose of that, of course, is to accelerate development, deployment, and integration of hydrogen supply and use technologies. Another vision is to promote awareness so that we can create a resilient and commercially successful hydrogen ecosystem. Lots of hydrogen work has been taking place all around the world. What we're striving for is a hydrogen energy ecosystem that is resilient and commercially successful. Next. And of course, our values, we've got 3 values that we've identified. First one is deployment and scale. We're committed to supporting technology development and projects directed toward deployment and scale as a core principle and ideal. Next. Next value we identified was collaboration and inclusion. It, of course, is essential to success and diversity of thought. Therefore, we are committed to fostering cooperation between industry, government, academia, and end user communities through such collaboration and inclusion at its core. Identified value is,
yes,
that's next slide. Integrity and fairness. We want to operate with integrity in all of our actions, ensuring accountability and trust among our stakeholder members with high ethical standards in all of our activities. So fairness is a core. I just want to mention also that we, as of today's board meeting, have struck the first 3 committees of the board. Those 3 committees are Stakeholder Engagement Committee, mix of industry, community relations, and engagement. The next committee is a Government Relations and Advocacy Committee, and the final committee was a Regulations, Codes, and Standards Committee. And I want to, on behalf of the board, extend an invitation to all members to consider participation, membership in each of these committees. And there will be more information about the committees as they're developed and rolled out within the next weeks and months. Thank you. So I'm going to turn it back to you, Micah.
Right. Again, very briefly, because I will hand over to the Hydrogen Ontario Board of Directors, and I'd like every board director to make a brief introduction. And I'd be also interested in hearing what the board directors are most excited about when it comes to hydrogen in Ontario. And so maybe we'll start in order of the screen. So
Back to you. Thank you, Mike. So as Yvette alluded to, I've been working for many, many years in the high pressure gaseous fuels industry in Ontario and indeed around the world, with a particular focus on natural gas and hydrogen. And the thing that really excites me about the opportunity for hydrogen in Ontario is that I believe that Ontario has, given its market, given its energy systems, given the level of economic activity, Ontario has the opportunity to do something that no other jurisdiction has accomplished. And that is to deploy a full hydrogen energy ecosystem, not simply as a large-scale demonstration project. We've seen many of those around the world, but to deploy hydrogen applications and distribution infrastructure in high-value markets that engender organic growth to achieve scale in a commercially sustainable manner. Pass it over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Everyone, my name is Matthew Morrish. I am the Hydrogen Business Development Manager at Atura Power. And I think my one key sentence is that I really see the Ontario hydrogen industry as the frontier of decarbonizing Ontario's hardest to abate sectors. And being a part of this organization and this committee is really exciting as we drive the necessary improvements within our communities and for all stakeholders to achieve that decarbonization now and for the future. And I think that collectively, through shared outcomes, we'll be able to realize the opportunities that the hydrogen economy presents. Oh, I have to pass it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Ted, it's over to you. I don't know if they have the mic.
Okay, maybe we'll go back to Ted. Okay. Ted, are you able to unmute yourself? If not, we'll pass on. I'll pass it on to Janet and we'll get back to you.
I'd like to thank everybody. My name is Janet Howard, and I'm one of the regional leads of our energy practice group here in Toronto. I'm a corporate partner at Baskin. And a few years ago, I co-founded the Hydrogen Energy Advisory Team. And since then, I've been so excited. It's been a privilege to work with the directors that are on this board in various capacities, be it as clients, as participants on panels and the like, and I've learned a lot. And the opportunities for hydrogen in the province of Ontario are vast. And it's something I'm very excited about. We all share a passion for it and the opportunities it presents. In terms of what I'm looking most forward to, it's working with the membership base here at the association to understand how you see hydrogen fitting into your overall strategic objectives and how I might be helpful in my capacity as a director on the board to help realize the potential for your businesses.
Okay, thanks, Janet. So moving on, I don't know if Ted is able to speak now.
Yes, I
Perfect.
think I am able to. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, wonderful. So thanks, everyone. My name is Ted Stewart. I'm Vice President of Development at Hydrogen Optimize. We focus in large-scale water electrolyzers, devices that convert energy and water into hydrogen and oxygen. Speaking from our Owen Sound Factory and Development Center, where we do our cutting-edge research, as well as we're setting up right now for mass manufacture of our equipment. So I'm happy to be on the board. My family's been active as leaders in the industry in Ontario for just shy of 120 years now. So there's some both experience I can bring to the table, both from the historic landscape as well as cutting edge as we are right now preparing to export our equipment to global markets, not just local.
Right. Thank you so much, Ted. Moving on to Sam.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. My name is Sam McDermott. I work for Enbridge Gas. I've worked in many roles. I'm an engineer by training, but I currently work in the business development group here at Enbridge. And over the last 10 years, my role has been to develop the hydrogen file for the company. So what I'm most excited about hydrogen in Ontario are a few things. The first is that we are in flight. That's important. We got to get started, and we have gotten started. We're doing great things, and we will be doing even greater things for the environment, the economy, and the prosperity of the province in which we live. But what I'm even more excited about is the massive economic, social, and environmental potential benefits that hydrogen can bring to the province of Ontario for Ontarians. And we are poised to do that in a very positive light. So that's what I'm excited about.
Thank you so much, Sam. Moving on to Beth.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Beth Buckmaster. I am the Director for Client and Stakeholder Relations for the Power Group at Hatch, which is a global engineering firm for those who don't know. And we support hydrogen right from the producers to electrolyzer vendors to the infrastructure that's needed to get the hydrogen from A to B, to transit users, right to off-takers, including green steel. So I am very excited to have this meeting today. It's been talked about for quite a number of years, I would say, with a lot of my fellow board members. It's very exciting. And really my message is short and simple, which is I'm just really excited to get this industry moving forward. There's so much potential in Ontario, and I can't wait to see what we can all do. Thanks. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Beth. And over to Tom.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Tian, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Advanced Fuels with Greenfield Global. Greenfield is a leading producer of renewable fuels and alcohol operating in Ontario and Quebec and the United States. Hydrogen presents an amazing opportunity for Greenfield across the country, but particularly here in Ontario, as we are part of the transition to produce even more renewable fuels. And as we look to the future of renewable fuel production across the world and how we participate in that in Ontario, hydrogen is going to be a huge part of that transition. And so we're very excited to be part of Hydrogen Ontario and the Hydrogen Fuels Association of Canada. Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks, Tom. And I believe that unfortunately, both Andrew and Philip are not on the call. We're not able to make it. So we'll move over to the next slides and talk a little bit about what we can be excited about here in Ontario. And a lot of what I put on the slide has actually been mentioned by the board director. The first bullet, and I guess some of you will argue about the word abundant here with me, but I think we potentially have abundant clean power in Ontario. At least the government has taken steps such as the decision to increase nuclear power, and there's also a renewables tender in the cards. So these are all good steps and really an important ingredient when we talk about the hydrogen economy. And I don't need to tell you, you know that. Ontario has a hydrogen strategy, that's good. We have some funding for projects. I think our task here as Hydrogen Ontario is to create more of those funding opportunities. There are other potential policy instruments on a provincial level. There is the Emissions Performance Standards Program, which is in essence a provincial carbon pricing program, and the proceeds of this program could potentially be used to enable decarbonization projects in heavy industries such as cement and steel. I think that is an opportunity to advocate on behalf of the sector here in Ontario. The report of the Electrification and Energy Transition Panel just came out with some recommendations. They are fairly high level. I do think on an advocacy side, there is an opportunity to shape these recommendations, detail them out, so that they can actually support the hydrogen economy in Ontario. So these are just a few ideas, and I'm looking forward to working with the newly struck GR and Advocacy Committee and the Stakeholder Engagement Committee to leverage these opportunities, and to also see how Ontario could complement federal tax credits and other policy instruments to support the provincial hydrogen economy. Ontario is the largest potential offtake market in Canada, and that's great. And I think we have to convey this message again also to government. There's tremendous economic opportunity. When it comes to the decarbonization of transportation, as you all know, that's a heavy emitting sector. We could basically transform the 401 transportation corridor into a hydrogen heavy transport corridor. And then we have heavy industry, steel, cement, chemical, and hydrogen can play a very important role when it comes to the decarbonization of those sectors as well. So I do think actually the glass is half full here in Ontario, and we can fill it further, and we will. All right, so next slide. Yeah, important. We also have hydrogen hubs here. Some of them are members of Hydrogen Ontario and the Canadian Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Association. Again, that's great to further drive the hydrogen economy. Sammy and Lambton plays a very important role. Actually, all of them. Hamilton, there's Bruce County, Toronto GTAA Hub, and the Durham region. Maybe more to come. So again, I wanted to mention that as a really crucial factor when it comes to driving the hydrogen economy. And next slide, please. Right, and yeah, excellent. That's where I stop talking, and I'll hand over to the attendees, if it's online or here in the room. And we have prepared a poll to let you weigh in here with the first question. So what hydrogen applications or domains are you currently focusing on? And for people here in the room, we'll go offline. So I have old school presentation cards here, which I'll distribute, and you can just write on them, and then we'll try to mix and present both what has been said in the room and online. And I hope we are ready to get the poll going. That looks quite good. Can you open it from here? Okay, in the meantime, I'll just continue talking and maybe distribute some hints and motivation cards here. So once we'll actually get started with the first question, we also would like to know what the most important stakeholders are for you. And again, this all will help us and the committees to be successful and shape our advocacy and communication strategies to move us forward and move the needle here in Ontario. And then the last question is, which areas should Hydrogen Ontario focus on to best address its members' interests? Again, we strive to be member-based, and we take member feedback very, very seriously. Which also brings me to another point while we try and get the poll going. I started reaching out to the board directors to understand their businesses and their priorities, and I will do that with the broader membership. And I encourage everyone on the call and in the room to also approach me approach me with ideas on topics. Say you have an exciting project that you're working on, or an exciting accomplishment you would like to talk about. You have an idea of what topic where you think, oh, that's not, people are not aware of it. Government needs to be more aware of this. Then please send me an email, call me. Let's talk about this and make sure that we address it.
Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt. It looks like a poll is not working. I don't see it on my side, but it looks like it's not working.
And it says
That's
we've got
all right.
80 responses, but I can't see it.
Yeah, we've had some IT difficulties today, so maybe this is one difficult, IT plus one difficulties.
Okay.
Not the end of the world if it's not, if people cannot contribute to the poll, we could do it somehow later.
Yeah, it's technology great. It's great when it works, right? That's the motto. But so we really have an offline advantage here, because I see people writing like crazy on the moderation cards, and maybe we can just present, or have people actually present some of the feedback they were writing down. I just need to pick someone I want to throw under the bus right now to talk about what hydrogen applications or domains are you currently focusing on. I don't know if we have any volunteers, but I need to give it another minute.
One recommendation, Mike,
Okay.
I can unmute everyone and then people could speak if you wish.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think let's do that. We'll time it so it doesn't go out of hand. So apologies if you're not getting to talk today. You know, we find another opportunity. As I said, it's really important to me to know what members think and would like to get out of the association. Hi.
So my name is James Kennedy, with a startup company out of Finland called Hycamite. Hycamite pioneered a methane pyrolysis process they call thermal catalytic decomposition. So basically you're taking advantage of the natural gas distribution system to make hydrogen on site. And the co-product is carbon nanotubes, nanofibers, or graphite, synthetic graphite. So for us, the applications would be industrial applications. So for example, for every kilogram of hydrogen we're producing 3 kilograms of carbon. So the Volkswagen Gigafactory in St. Thomas, for example, will require about 90,000 tons of graphite a year. So that, roughly speaking, translates into about 30,000 tons of hydrogen a year. So in some applications, your carbon customers or carbon offtake customers would be the same as your hydrogen offtake customers. In some cases, they would. So that's the kind of application we're starting to look for. And I should say, Hycamite is building right now a 2 kiloton facility in Finland, and they are calling it a customer sample facility. So will produce 2 kilotons of hydrogen a year, 6 kilotons of carbon a year, and that carbon will be made into different forms for sampling for different customers who want to have their carbon products specifically made. So
very cool. Thank you. So maybe we'll switch back and forth between people here and online. Is there anybody online who would like to speak? I unfortunately see if I can see it. Yvette, maybe you can see it on your side.
Yeah, I can see, and I will have to unmute everyone one by one. Sorry, it is IT Day today. So Dave, I have just unmuted you.
Hi there, Dave. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Dave. I think I enabled your mic. Well, I think somehow Dave cannot speak, but I know that I have unmuted him on my side.
Okay, maybe we'll move on
Yeah.
and come back to Dave. Is there anybody else online? Would like
There's
to
some
speak?
comments online. The last one is from Terry Kimmel. Hi, Terry.
Hi there, Terry. Yes, so we could read this. Decarbonization of heavy industry with a thermochemical process developed at CNL, hydrogen and oxygen production by the copper chlorine cycle using a thermal dominant vector to drive a hydrogen production process, 5 to 10 tons a day for cement and steel plants. So also, yeah, industrial application. Maybe move to someone in the room.
Sure. Okay. So we really focus on techno-economic assessment modeling of hydrogen systems at the regional level, at the market level, and at individual corporate levels as well. Technically, we focus on the supply and distribution of hydrogen. Currently, the markets that we're looking at most keenly are portable power. We had a little announcement about the formation of a new company, H2 Onset, which is providing portable power for the film and television production industries. That dovetails and grows into construction, emergency response, a wide range of other applications as well. Our deepest experience, of course, though, is in refueling infrastructure. We've designed and project managed over 200 refueling stations over the last 30 years, most of them being natural gas, but a couple of dozen hydrogen refueling facilities around the world. And we also do a lot of work on the development of codes, standards, and regulations, as well as risk and safety analysis.
Thank you so much, Rai. Maybe we'll try Dave again, see if it works now. Dave, are you able to speak?
Mark, maybe you would like to say a few words. I think Mark was also making comments. Terry as well. IT day, so Mark, bear with me for one moment. I will be unmuting you. Somehow I have this power and I do not enjoy this type of power. Mark Kirby, I have unmuted you and there you go.
Hi there. I wasn't expecting to speak, but hello everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's very good to see the work that's being done in Hydrogen Ontario, and the impressive board that is in there. Congratulations, Mikey. I think that you're off to a great start. And I anticipate seeing lots of announcements about projects and deployments. I sit on the board of HTEC, and HTEC is working on the fueling the drive to hydrogen by building production, distribution, fueling stations and vehicles, and we're engaged in projects across the country. A lot of them focused right now in the West, but we'd love to see work happening in Europe as well.
Thanks, Mark. And is Terry able to speak? Yvette, did you empower her?
I have not empowered Terry yet. My bad, Terry. We are putting you on the spot. But Dave, I have empowered you, but it seems that you may have an issue on your side as well. And Terry, I don't know if you wanted to say a few words while I give you the power. I think I have. I'm just gonna say that I think Mark omitted a very important fact, and that is that he is my predecessor. So it's a great pleasure to continue working with you, Mark. Anyone else in the room or online? When you want to speak, raise your hand so that I can quickly rush and.
Okay, so Terry says he'll pass. So maybe we'll go back to the room.
Sure, I can introduce that as well. Sagar Kanchala. I'm with WSP Canada. I lead the advisory services based out of Toronto. So our advisory services group basically complements the engineering groups of WSP. And hydrogen is keeping us busy more with the developers and experts. Where advisory group supports is really on front-end investment decisions, funding applications, and all the legislations that are coming up in carbon intensity. That's keeping us busy right now. And in terms of domestic coal as well, and maybe I'll finish that. Where it's not quite as it's basically the producers working on the domestic markets and exports, but in terms of domain, transportation is an area that we are focusing a lot on now. And who are the critical stakeholders to achieve priorities in Ontario? I think I strongly believe, as the hubs are shown here, there will be an industrial resurgence, especially the Sarnia area. I believe that in Ontario. So I think the stakeholders critical would be the communities, the policymakers and producers that will make it happen. And the last one, which areas to focus, and probably lots of themes have come about. It's really the industrial decarbonization in Ontario that I see a big opportunity, but this will require lots of regional policies to align with the federal.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, maybe so if other people online would like to speak to the second and third question as well. All right, there's a comment from Dave. David Thompson, president of Northern Front Energy Limited. We own and operate several depleted natural gas pinnacles reefs adjacent to large wind and nuclear generation, which are suitable for large-scale underground hydrogen storage. That's very cool. Thank you. So maybe if others online would like to comment on question 2 and 3 as well, I'd appreciate that. I just see a hand up. I don't know who it is. I can't see it on my end.
Steve.
So Dave. If there's someone else, if not, maybe we'll switch back to the room. I'll look around, see.
I'll go ahead. So Jen from GE Toyota Canada, my colleague Brevin Valchandran. So I think everybody knows who Toyota is, but we do have a hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle, and we are selling it in BC and Quebec where there's infrastructure. So obviously the thing that we're looking for in Ontario is infrastructure. It would be great. But the other thing too is from a heavy duty perspective, Toyota also provides the powertrain to PACCAR, which builds the Kenworth and Peterbilt trucks under the PACCAR umbrella. So they are buying the powertrain from Toyota. It's kind of 2 Mirai fuel cells put together with a bunch of other components, and they are putting that in their heavy duty trucks. So that has already started. You could Google, there was a pilot project that was done in the LA ports, very successful. And so now they've announced a commercialization agreement between the two companies. So that's kind of our sister company in the States, TMNA. We work very closely with them. And we had the truck actually in Vancouver last year at the High SL event. So if anybody was there, you might have seen it there. And I'll just put in a plug for not us necessarily, but they're doing a truck world event here. So it's all about heavy duty trucks, but they will have the hydrogen truck at it. It's in April. I think it's $10 to buy a ticket to go. So if you're interested in seeing the person at that event here in Toronto.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jennifer. That's great. And I see someone else has, Alan Johnson has put something in the comment field for investigation of microwave plasma pyrolysis of methane, natural gas, or RNG. Make ethylene hydrogen with no CO2 and no consumption of water. Important for petrochemical decarbonization. also an ideal application for green steel, which uses a quarter of the electricity of electrolyzers of water. HQuest is in Pittsburgh. Thanks, Alan. Yeah, you're supposed to be unmuted now. And yes, if you'd like to say a few words, please, by all means, do so. It'd be great. HQuest, yeah, HQuest. All right, that does not appear to be the case or not possible. I'm not sure which one. Turn back to the room. I'm looking around. If anybody else would like to comment here.
I could go if nobody else is going to go on. Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Wunsick. I'm a senior account executive with the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation, and Trade. Good to see you. There are a few familiar faces here, which is really nice to see, and very excited to be here and as part of this really important work. I'm sitting in as an observer today just to better understand how I can support within my channels. There are a number of activities that I can highlight that I'm currently engaged in with my team. I should also note that I'm speaking on behalf of myself, not the government of Ontario at this point. So general economic development activities, including sector intelligence gathering, advocacy within and between governments. We talk to ISED relatively regularly, as well as NRCan and the Trade Commissioner Service. So opportunities identification, just understanding, as part of the sector intelligence gathering activities, understanding where opportunities may lie for matchmaking, economic development, hub building. We talk to Sarnia Legend quite often, for example, and just relationship development, ultimately leading to decarbonization and economic development, obviously, which is the key mandate of our ministry. And as Sam has pointed out, it's a huge opportunity for Ontario. I don't need to be at that point, but anything that we can do to help grease the wheels to make this happen, I'm very happy to engage with you on. So,
yeah,
thank you.
Thanks, Nick, and nice to see you here. Thank you were able to make it. And yeah, so if anybody would like to reach out to Nick, I have this guy's number.
Anytime.
So, okay, I saw something else in the chat. Yeah, Terry says, okay, hydrogen Ontario focus recommendation, rewrite the provincial strategy. The current strategy is very weak and doesn't recognize the potential the province has. It is also very weak on deliverables and actions, and we need more funding. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Go, Terry.
Yeah, Terry, I think I'd like to recruit you for the GR committee. So we can talk about that. I see Tom has
yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't want to let the opportunity go by to speak to the economic development opportunities, and just as an example, I'll just use our company as an example. Greenfield, as I mentioned at the outset, we're a producer of renewable fuels, and most impactfully, and if you think about it, in Ontario, we're making fuel ethanol, which is a product of corn. Or it's produced using corn, and therefore a huge agricultural component in the province. And as the government and as we think about the transition to renewable energy, clean energy, and we talk about in Ontario, we talk about electrification and the move to electrification. In our business, we think of the move to electrification and then the reduction in the use of fuel ethanol. And so what is the transition for this big industry, not just Greenfield, but it's a big industry in Ontario? What is the transition, the economic transition for this industry that is heavily reliant on agriculture and on fuel production? Well, for us, we then start to think about how can we use hydrogen to help produce other fuels, for example, methanol or sustainable aviation fuel, which is in huge demand. And so this is where, I just use this as an example of the thinking that I think the organization Hydrogen Ontario and the whole Fuel Cell Association can bring to help government in understanding the linkages, because this is not just an energy discussion, it's an energy discussion, it's an agriculture discussion, it's a economic development discussion in terms of what new industries there will be. There was an article I just was reading yesterday talking about the huge demand by companies such as Google, Microsoft, for finding areas where there is clean electricity so that they can build their massive data centers, which are driven by now AI. So they're looking for clean energy, and hydrogen can also be a backup source of power for those large data centers and clean energy. So there's huge opportunity for government to think about, okay, where do you put a data center? How does that link to hydrogen production? How might that link to other projects where there are other derivative fuels being produced? Anyway, I just use it as an example of saying this is the kind of integrated thinking that I think our organization can really help drive. And it's great that you're here today to start to hear that and engage in this discussion, because I do think economic development can play a huge leading role in helping shape the whole landscape.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, good, great points. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you haven't been able to speak or weren't ready to speak and provide input or feedback to these 3 questions, please, by all means, contact me. My email is on the last slide. Drop in whatever you would like to comment on. And yeah, again, happy to speak as well. Okay, so with that, strategic priorities, we're almost at the end, but I think to me it was really important to hand over to the audience and let you speak. Just really quickly, strategic priorities, yes. So obviously advocacy is very important, relations with the government on a provincial and federal level. So we'll have lobby days on a provincial level here in Ontario, probably end of May, and then on a federal level in October. And I'm happy to let Yvette provide a few comments on that as well. I do think, again, there's opportunity here, and I talked about that earlier in Ontario with the Emissions Performance Standards Program and potentially other programs and initiatives that are currently put on the table, and we have to leverage those. Yvette, I'll briefly hand over to you for a minute, and then I'd like to do a quick Q&A, and I already saw a question in the chat, but that would probably be you, Yvette. The person who would be best suited to answer that, the relationship with the Hydrogen Business Council. So I'll hand over to you.
Sure, Mike. Do you want me to talk about strategic priorities and lobby days, or specifically? So with HBC, we continue to collaborate, and it's a very close collaboration. We have not defined whether or not we will fully affiliate, but the important thing is that that we collaborate and we work very closely together, at least for now. Yeah. Did you say that you wanted to talk about? Yeah.
So just briefly, maybe how we want to proceed as an organization nationally and including the provinces regarding advocacy.
Yeah. So okay. So very, very quickly, two points that I think you may have seen in the announcements, at least one that has been publicized, and we already reap the benefits from this partnership. We have partnered with Deloitte as our tax partner for the association. So what that means is that, for example, with the Clean Hydrogen ITC, which is a highly technical ITC from a tax perspective, we work together with Deloitte and our Government Relations Committee to provide feedback. I believe we have shared this already with all the members, but we also put it on our website, and we have been commended by PCO, Privy Council Office, and Finance by the level of detail, but detail with tangible knowledge of tax and tax structure and what can be achieved. So that's one partnership. And then the other one, and obviously we would help, this is a partnership that is national, but it's also provincial and regional. And the other one is we have, I believe the announce is coming, but our board has approved to bring Fasken on board to renew them as our exclusive legal counsel, but also as our GR partner. Fasken is the only firm in law firm in Canada that has a hydrogen practice, to my knowledge at least. And the team will be working with us in helping us develop a strategic direction for government relations, both the national and the affiliate level. We have here the vice chair of Hydrogen Ontario is from Fasken. We have here Phil de Rosier, who also is part of the GR team. So I believe that with Deloitte and with Fasken working with us on different areas that somehow relate, we will provide great value to you, the members, and to the industry as a whole. So I'll leave it at that, Mike.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And with that, we'll move to Q&A. Either here in the room or online if you have questions. Yeah, we only have 2 minutes. I know I'm probably between or we are between everyone's lunch break, or just yeah. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Then maybe I'll encourage you again to reach out with any questions. And here it is. That's the contact slide. So there's my email. There is my wonderful colleague Malia here, right next to me, who's helping with the membership coordination at Hydrogen Ontario, and of course on the national level. There's Nicolas Hilario, who is the Director of Operations, and Turney Saha, who are also, of course, always happy to help. And if there's no questions online or in the room, I'd say it's a wrap. And I would like to thank you very much for joining us today and for providing input, feedback, comments, questions, and yeah, I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And with that,
thanks everyone. With that, I am going to close the webinar, and I hope no more IT challenges for the rest of today. Thank you to the board. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks
Thanks very much.